These are Family Guy episodes, where Chris and Meg Griffin crossed every line a brother and sister should never cross. Accidental makeout sessions, blackmail schemes, and full-on identity swaps all made the cut.
Meg, check it out! I'm gonna jump that fire hydrant.
Chris, don't! You're gonna wreck Dad's bike!
Too late, I already narrowed my eyes!
And every single one of them would send a family therapist straight into retirement. Let's start the show. All the way back in Season 2, Episode 12, before the writers even understood how far they'd eventually push this brother-sister dynamic, we already get our first warning sign that something about Chris and Meg isn't right. And this one lays the groundwork for everything that follows. Meg hosts a slumber party at the Griffin house. Just a regular group of teenage girls hanging out and having a good time.
My turn.
Mom, what are you doing?
I love slumber parties. Okay, truth or dare.
Chris, on the other hand, cannot keep it together. The uncensored version of this episode includes a moment where Lois straight up tells Chris to finish taking care of himself before the girls show up. And that alone tells you where Season 2 decided to plant its flag.
If you care about me, you won't show your faces downstairs for the rest of the night.
Well, then it's a good thing I have this.
But the slumber party isn't even the main story. Meg gets so fed up with her family embarrassing her that she brings them onto Diane Simmons' talk show to call them out publicly, which is honestly a fair move.
Do you think there might be any validity to what Meg is feeling?
Who are you calling Uncle Tom?
What?
Okay, time out!
A TV producer catches the segment and decides the Griffins' whole dysfunctional mess belongs on reality television, so the family lands their own show. And that's when it gets weird.
Mom, you have to do something! Dad's on TV parading around in his underwear like some gross European guy.
Oh, no, sweetie.
The producers look at Meg and decide she's not interesting enough.
We can't do the show without Meg.
Why not? Our research shows that Meg is the least popular character on the show.
Not TV hot enough, so they replace her with a more attractive actress.
Meg Griffin.
Oh, sorry, I'm late, Mr. Taylor.
Chris immediately starts hitting on this replacement girl, who is, for all purposes, playing the role of his sister on national television. He's flirting with the fake version of Meg, and nobody in the family blinks.
I'm going upstairs and writing my journal about how I'll never grow big like these.
Season 2 planted this seed early, tucking it into a background gag most people probably missed on their first watch. Looking back at it now, this moment reads like a warning shot for everything the show would do with these two over the next decade.
Mom? Dad? I'm home! Who are you?
We're the Griffins.
Season 9, Episode 4 is the one. If you've ever stumbled across a single Chris and Meg sus compilation anywhere on the internet, this episode sits at the center of all of them, and the actual scene plays out even worse than whatever clip you remember. Halloween night kicks off with Meg landing an invite to Connie D'Amico's high school party, where she shows up in a cat costume, complete with a mask covering her face.
Why has that become what Halloween is for girls today? It's just an excuse to dress slut. I'm a slut nurse. I'm a slut pirate.
Chris also shows up to the same party, wearing a full Optimus Prime costume with the helmet locked down tight, meaning his entire face is hidden. Neither sibling has any idea the other one is there.
Okay, cat, you're up next.
Oh my god, this is totally working! Nobody knows who we are!
The party rolls into a game of spin the bottle, and Meg wins a spin that sends her into a dark closet with one of the boys.
Oh my god, you're gonna hook up with a boy! I know! I can't believe it!
The boy behind the mask turns out to be Chris in the Optimus Prime suit, but neither of them can tell who the other person is because the closet is pitch black. They go in, the door shuts behind them, and they make out for what fans who timed the scene clocked at roughly 7 minutes. When the door finally swings open in the TV broadcast version, Meg is down to her bra, skirt, and fishnet stockings, while Chris stands there shirtless, and the DVD version takes it even further, with both of them stripped down to their underwear. Connie opens the closet, the light floods in, and Chris and Meg lock eyes.
I didn't know know it was you!
Well, who did you think it was?
Some bitch, who cares?
The horror hits both of them instantly, and the entire party goes dead silent.
Oh, we did so much!
Shut up!
We're disgusting! We're a disgrace to our family!
But here's the part that takes it from bad to unforgettable. When the two of them get home that night, neither one acknowledges what happened in that closet. Instead, both of them sit at the dinner table and brag to the family about hooking up with a hot date at the party.
You know what? I don't care. I hooked up with a chick tonight, and I am pretty darn proud of myself.
With Chris even telling Meg her date probably won't call her back.
You're right, Chris. I hooked up with a guy tonight. A high school guy.
They're sitting directly across from each other, fully aware of what went down behind that closed door, performing like nothing happened. That isn't embarrassment, that's a pact of silence. And that level of mutual denial is deeply, irreversibly suspicious. Season 9, Episode 13 takes the Chris and Meg dynamic in a completely different direction. One that swaps out the accidental closet horror for something slower, heavier, and genuinely hard to sit through. And it all starts because these two destroyed a dirt bike. Chris and Meg wreck a dirt bike that Peter won, and as punishment, the family decides to swap roles for a week.
You kids switch places with your dad and me. For the next week, you'll be the parents and we'll be the kids.
That's a great idea, Lois. Crisscross.
Chris and Meg step into the parent positions while Peter and Lois head back to high school, a classic sitcom setup that starts out feeling almost wholesome.
Hey, Mom, where the hell's dinner? I'm starving.
Oh, man. Can you imagine the disaster she's gonna walk out here with? She has no idea how hard it is to cook.
Meg takes over running the household, Chris picks up Peter's brewery job, and for a little while, both of them prove they can actually handle the responsibility.
You hear that? A raise. Interesting. Seems like the kids are doing pretty well at this grown-up thing, huh? I would suggest that you that.
And then something inside Chris shifts. The pressure of playing breadwinner gets under his skin, and instead of dealing with it, he starts drinking, snapping at people, and directing all of his frustration straight at Meg.
Instead, let's just go knock on all the doors of all our neighbors and tell them I'm a failure.
No, that's not what
No, it's a good idea. Let's just go right now.
None of it feels like normal sibling bickering either, because the way Chris turns domineering and abusive toward her mirrors the ugliest version of a toxic household dynamic you can imagine.
Oh my God! I think Chris is having a heart attack!
We're not supposed to leave the table.
Meg handles all the domestic labor on her own, while Chris spirals deeper at work.
You want to keep it down in here? One of us has to work in the morning.
Chris, have you been drinking?
Yes. Have you been aging?
And rather than the two of them teaming up, he doubles down on control and refuses to give up the role even after everything around him falls apart. The behavior doesn't stop until Chris literally suffers a stress-induced heart attack.
Oh, Chris, I'm so glad you're okay.
What happened?
You had a heart attack, sweetie.
What earns this episode a spot on the list isn't one shocking gag or a single outrageous moment. It's the sustained, uncomfortable experience of watching Chris slot himself into an abusive pattern with Meg as the target, all played for comedy on the surface, but landing in a completely different place once you peel back the joke. Two teenagers acting out the worst version of a relationship that goes way beyond sibling rivalry.
You know, from now on, let's not complain so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. That's the attitude. Let's not complain.
Grateful, huh?
Season 11, Episode 7 stands, without exaggeration, as one of the darkest things Family Guy has ever put these two characters through. And nothing about the sus factor here happens by accident. Every beat is deliberate, calculated, and genuinely disturbing from start to finish. Meg develops a real crush on a guy named Kent, butterflies and everything.
Oh, Kent, this is all I ever wanted.
I feel the same way, Meg. From today onward, this is our life.
And she finally builds up enough nerve to ask him out. Kent turns her down, but not because he isn't interested in dating. He's gay, and the person he's actually attracted to is Meg's brother, Chris.
I'm gay.
You are?
Look, I really like you as a friend, but to be honest, I like Chris.
What?
A normal reaction would involve disappointment, processing, and moving on. Meg's brain takes a hard left into territory no sibling's mind should ever enter.
Oh, hey, Meg. Listen, I hope you're okay after the other night.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, Kent.
She decides that if she can't have Kent herself, then getting Chris together with Kent counts as the next best thing.
Hook up with me! Come on! We can make this work! Just stick your head in here and pretend it's a butt!
No, Meg, stop it! God, God, this is getting too weird.
And she literally asks Chris, out loud, to his face, to sleep with the guy.
Are you out of your mind?
Chris, please just sleep with Kent and then tell me all about it.
Forget it, Meg. I can't just do stuff with another guy.
Chris refuses immediately. A hard pass, no hesitation. And this is where it gets genuinely dark. Meg goes to Quagmire, the most notorious creep in Quahog, and gets her hands on
Chris, I made some Kool-Aid. You want some?
Sure.
Her plan involves drugging her own brother by slipping the pills into Kool-Aid so that Kent can sleep with an unconscious Chris, and then report the whole experience back to Meg so she can get some kind of closure. That sentence is worth reading twice because it actually happens on a network television show, played for laughs.
What's this?
I know you've been having a hard time lately, so I wanted to give you something that means a lot to me.
The only thing that stops her is a childhood photo of herself and Chris together, a reminder that the person she's about to drug is her own brother, someone she grew up beside.
Chris, you kept this photo all these years?
Yeah, it's gotten me through a lot of tough times, like when Felicity cut her hair.
She sees the picture and can't go through with it at the last possible moment. Stewie carries a separate subplot where he mistakenly believes Kent is attracted to him, and that thread provides some lighter relief from the main story.
What's this? Ooh, candy!
But nothing softens what Meg tried to do here, and this remains the single most disturbing thing one Griffin sibling has ever attempted against the other.
I know you feel terrible, but you're not a bad person, Meg. You just need to get back out there, and someday maybe you'll find the right guy.
Season 11, Episode 13, titled Criss Cross, stands apart from everything else on this list because it's the episode that actually tries to explain why Chris and Meg became the way they are. The story opens ugly, slides into something even uglier, and then lands on the most emotionally honest conversation these two characters have ever shared. Meg catches Chris red-handed, stealing money out of Lois's purse so he can buy brand-name sneakers instead of the generic ones their parents stick him with.
Is it so weird that Mom and Dad would leave the house without their purse and wallet? I wonder where they are.
A small and kind of sad act of teenage rebellion. But Meg doesn't let it go, because she spots an opportunity and grabs it with both hands.
Mom! Chris took money out of the—
Okay. I'll do whatever you want.
I thought you'd see it that way.
Blackmail becomes Meg's new hobby. The demands start small, basic chores and favors, the kind of stuff that barely registers. But power changes people, even animated teenagers, and Meg's requests escalate fast, from ordinary to degrading to borderline criminal.
Here are the pictures of every girl in your class who went in.
All right, good. Now I want you to call them as if you're their dead baby.
No way!
She holds complete control over Chris, and she enjoys every second of it.
Chris, don't you see? You have no choice. I'll just go tell Mom and Dad about the money, and they'll ground your ass for a year.
Chris eventually snaps and runs away from home, which leads him straight to the doorstep of Herbert, the elderly neighbor who has spent the entire series being openly and disturbingly obsessed with him.
My goodness, I feel like I'm gonna pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming.
Living with a predator feels better to Chris than staying under Meg's thumb, and that fact alone tells you how bad things got.
Dear Herbert, what's life really all about?
Well, I suppose it's about trying new things.
But here's the thing. Herbert's fantasy of playing house with Chris doesn't survive contact with reality.
I thought I told you to clean up in here. And why aren't you dressed? We're supposed to have dinner with Judge Maynard and Timmy.
The actual experience of living with a teenager turns out to be annoying, mundane, and nothing like what Herbert imagined. So he kicks Chris out. Even the neighborhood creep doesn't want him around. That leaves Chris homeless, rejected by both his blackmailing sister and a predator, sitting at rock bottom with nowhere left to turn. And then Meg shows up. What happens next earns this episode its spot for a completely different reason than every other entry on this list. Meg apologizes, genuinely, and admits the power went to her head, that she crossed a line and she knew it.
I should have never blackmailed you. I'm really sorry, and I want you to come home.
The two of them sit down and have an actual conversation, maybe the most real exchange in the entire run of the series, where they both say out loud what the show has been dancing around for years. Their lives are both terrible. Peter mocks them, Lois ignores them, Stewie couldn't care less about either of them, and the only two people who truly understand what it feels like to rank at the absolute bottom of the Griffin household are each other. They need each other to survive it.
You know, living in that family, we both have pretty crappy lives, and if we're gonna survive it, we can't turn on each other. We're all we have.
That confession reframes everything on this list. All the weird moments and uncomfortable closeness and suspicious behavior trace back to two people bonded by shared suffering, co-survivors trapped inside a family that has never once treated either of them as a priority.
I'll never do anything like that again. You think you can ever forgive me?
Yeah, I forgive you.